So I saw this very beautiful movie called Iris many years ago in the theatre. It was on this writer, Iris Murdoch. Okay. And she's obviously, being a writer, her whole world revolves around words, right? Unfortunately, she has dementia. And there reaches a point in her life when she can't be managed at home. Dementia has worsened, and her husband, who loves her very dearly, finally, out of compulsion, has to decide that he has to institutionalize her. So the people from that institution have come and, they are pulling her, they're trying to take her down the stairs. At one point, she sits on the stairs. And even dementia patients have one moment of lucidity. She has this incredible moment of lucidity, and she looks at her husband and says, "My God, word was my world. How could God take it away from me?" Word is our world too.
Yes.
We are not just about food and travel and culture. We are also about reading, our love for books, our love for music, singing. We also learn music. We also love theatre. We go to Rangashankara very, very regularly. Don't miss a single English play. So we are people of many parts. So episode 12 is all about how word is our world.
Yes.
Word is my world. I have a tattoo on my leg also. That was my first ever tattoo. Can you believe it? What do you think, Dominique? Is word so important for you?
Yes.
Mot, right? In
Mot,
French?
yes, mot.
Beau mot.
Yes, mot, M-O-T.
And beau
Yes.
mot, right? Or bon mot?
Beau.
Beau mot. Okay.
Yes.
Good word.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And what is important is, for me, what I know, I want transmission, I want send what I know.
Okay.
And this is a good support.
Right.
Book is a good support because it stay in memory, but is physical on one thing.
Right. Oh, you like the book to be physical?
I like big book physical.
Okay.
Because now we have a phone, we have a laptop.
Right.
And
we have Kindle.
Yes, and we don't know if one bug will come. No time he will have a bug on one book. Or me for years. But it's an accident.
Okay.
Is in life.
Right.
We can't manage one laptop.
Right. For the longest time, I also resisted Kindle. Okay, reading books on Kindle, because I also used to feel the smell of the book, the turning of the page, the sheer joy of holding a book in your hand, the printed word. I thought those enhanced the experience of reading, so I resisted buying Kindle. But because I used to travel so much, and sometimes it used to be for long stretches, that means, and I'm a quick reader, so that means I had to carry many books, and that was unnecessary luggage. That's when I switched to Kindle. But even now, given a choice, like when I am at home, you don't see me reading a book on my phone or on my laptop. I will always read a physical book.
Okay, see this book.
What is it?
Small book. It's a gift from Paul Hubert one day. He sent me this small.
Paul Hubert is his son?
Yes. He sent me this gift. I said, what I will make with this? And I start writing all my recipe. And I have a lot of recipe from I was training. See, he have a food inside. It
smells of croissant.
All food and this. And what is interesting for this is this I want to show you. On this book, one day I open the page and I see one small message from Kimberly.
Okay.
She used this book for telling me, "Dad, I love you."
Oh, sweet.
Because she knows this book every time for her is one thing to be every time with me.
Right.
She was very small, but one day without telling me, she opened. See?
Oh,
she's
so
making
beautiful. Je t'aime de tout mon
cœur. I love
Okay.
you from my with all my
Oh, heart. Okay.
I love you,
Oh,
Dada.
so
this,
sweet.
this is typical for me. What is one book?
Right.
This book every time is with me.
Okay.
Is when I go to a tasting wine, I'm writing how wine is, how is good. I put 1 star, 2 star, 3 star
Okay.
if I like
Okay.
this wine.
Irish also wants to talk about her favorite book. Do you want to talk about your favorite book, my love? I want to talk about my 2 favorite books. Okay. How did I get my love for reading? Thanks to Dad. Because Dad was old world scholar. He was a scholar in English, Kannada and Sanskrit. And he insisted that, I read right from the time I was a baby, literally. I don't know whether because I was a very shy, introverted person, I took to reading, or whether I took to reading and therefore became a shy and introverted person. I mean, shy and introverted are nice words. Actually, I think growing up, I was quite antisocial. Okay. And I loved reading. And, there used to be a magazine in Kannada called Sudha. I don't know whether it's still there. Every Sunday, a very famous writer called G.P. Rajaratnam used to write children's stories in the children's section of the magazine. My dad would insist that from 8 to 9 in the morning, I sit down and translate that story in Kannada to English, because he wanted me to be proficient not just in English, he wanted me to have equal proficiency in Kannada as well. So, for right from the beginning, I mean, if I was reading a John Galsworthy, I was also reading Dr. DVG's Mankuti Manakagga. Mm-hmm. So simultaneously, I would read English and Kannada. And Dad was very clever. Just to make sure that I wasn't skipping pages, he would ask me questions. He would pick one vague character from a book and he would say, okay, what did that person say to this person and when? Just to see whether, I'm reading the book from cover to cover. Mm-hmm. And he would always try to catch me on the wrong foot, but I never skipped. I read fast, but I never would skip, unless it was really boring or something, but rarely. Those days you're enthralled by the idea of reading, knowing something new, exploring something very different from your life. So books were that, I wouldn't say they were a fantasy world to me, but I think books were a beautiful means of reconstructing a world for myself, which I loved. Yes. It's not that I hated my real world, it's not that, but it was a nice imagined world. I wasn't into hobbits and imaginary creatures like that. I wasn't into that. In my world there were real people, but there were people different from me, different from the people in my real world. Okay, so which was your favorite book when you were growing up?
I like a book. When I was young, I like a book from travel.
Okay.
After, per my job, I am very interested per all old book. Okay. And every time in my professional life, I use a book for to create recipe. Okay. I remember one day when I was in Hotel La Cloche in Dijon. We have
that's where you got your Michelin star,
yes,
no? Yeah.
I had one evening is from Yugoslavia.
Okay, food. Okay.
I have any notion what is Yugoslavia food, and I go in different place in a library to asking how is, and I discover a old book.
Right.
With this old book, I discover a recipe, and after I use this old recipe for making new food.
Oh, okay.
It was nice. Very interesting.
Okay.
And I like this. I like transmit this recipe and this and writing recipe.
Right. I think we should still do a book on recipes because a lot of people have been asking us.
Yes,
We should do a nice coffee table book on
exactly,
recipes.
because I like a recipe book,
Yes.
but not a, I will tell, cold recipe book.
Yeah.
I want one recipe when you have the pupil tell how he imagines this recipe
Right.
and why this recipe, and
Right.
all recipe have one story, and this is very
And that story is very important. And that
Yes.
story is what makes
why this recipe.
correct, is what makes that food
Yes.
so much more beautiful,
Exactly.
right? So my favorite books from the beginning till now, one in Kannada and one in English. My English favorite, surprisingly, is by a French author, Saint-Exupéry,
Oh.
Antoine Saint-Exupéry, okay, called The Little Prince. I was
Yes.
completely captivated when I read The Little Prince. And it is all about simple living and high thinking and yes.
At what
Age
which
did
age?
I read?
Which age?
I must have been 14, 15 when I read The Little Prince.
Yes, because normally when you see this book,
Yeah.
you think it's a book for
children. Yeah.
But
No, it's
Kimberley
not.
actually
Right.
discovery Le Petit Prince.
Right.
Le Petit
right.
Prince.
Le Petit Prince,
Yes.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's intemporal.
Yeah.
He's for every age.
Yeah. Because it's philosophy, right? And there are two, parts in that book that I absolutely love. One is, he says, you humans are very funny.
Yes.
Okay? If I tell you there is ivy climbing on the wall and there are doves on the roof, you will say, oh, really? But if I tell you I paid $50,000 for the house, you will say, oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yes.
So human beings are very funny. Number two, there is this man whose only job it is to watch the sunrise and the sunset. He will turn his chair, watch the sunrise, turn his chair, watch the sunset, and he pretends to be very, very busy in life. And we have met a number of people in our lives who pretend to be very, very busy. And he says, I don't understand. Your only job is this. How can you claim to be busy? And the Little Prince says, I don't understand human beings. At the end of the book, you also kind of look inward and say, my God, we human beings are so stupid, So that is my favorite English book. My favorite Kannada book is this. You can see.
Yes.
My God, all the pages are torn. And this is signed by Dr. D.V. Gundappa, who's the author. It was signed by him. And it says, Kagga Pravine. Kagga Pravine means expert on Kagga. See? It says, Kagga Pravinege Preetiya Kanike, a loving gift to the Kagga Pravine. This book is called Mankutimana Kagga. Mankutima means idiot, village idiot kind of a thing. Kagga means verse, 4 lines. So Dr. DVG wrote this iconic, again, like Little Prince, it's about the philosophy of life. It's about what to give priority in life and why sometimes stupidly we give priority to stupid things, okay? Absolutely love these verses, and I will share one verse which is my absolute favorite. Drakshi rasavenalla jeevanada tirul argum. This is in Kannada. I will translate. Drakshi rasa is nectar, grape nectar from the grape. Life is not drops of nectar for everybody. Drakshi rasavenalla jeevanada tirul argum. Jeevanada tirul, the quintessence of life, is not sweet for everybody, is not sweet as nectar for everybody. Ikshudanda the wall kashta bhojanave. Ikshudanda is sugarcane. If you squeeze the sugarcane long and hard, kashta bhojanave, maybe you will get a small meal out of it. Dakshatehim pidiyuvang vanderedu gutuku rasa. If you are really persistent and if you put in a lot of effort and if you squeeze, you might manage to extract 1 or 2 drops of the sweet nectar. Makshi karumikella. The rest of it all goes to the flies. Doesn't come to you at all. My absolute favorite. All of them. There are some 900 odd verses like this. And it's my go-to book. It's not that, I go to learn something new about life, or it's not that when I am cornered, I go to this book. It's my happy place. Every time I feel like, I pick up this book and I read one verse, and then I'm good. And then I'm like in a very happy place.
Yes.
You want to show your leaf book?
Alors, yes, you can. This is my leaf book because we're traveling a lot.
Right.
This book is for my grandson
Okay.
because
This. Let me show the picture.
This, but he was
This is Jules.
he was very small. But I can tell exactly what I see,
Right.
and I will prepare this book for him because we like traveling. I
Right.
think is the most important thing we're making.
Right.
And I want he see what I see, and he's in France. Banana leaf, curry
Correct.
pata.
Neem leaf.
He don't
Right.
see.
Right. This is
But-
neem leaf.
Yes, he have a neem leaf, but he have a lot. Jackfruit
Yes.
for us is a normal leaf. I will making this after I will painting
I see.
for
Okay.
is looking what I see, not a photo. And this is interesting because I want one day
Right.
he will have this book
Right.
to understand what I make in India.
Right.
And this is, for me, book is this.
Right.
Book is to transmit what you see and this.
Right. See, that's why I wrote 3 books. 2 on entrepreneurship. The first book, Entrepedia, is when you have an idea in your head, what are the things you need to do to build a business around it, to take it to the market. The second is after you've acquired your first customer. How do you, from one customer, how do you grow to 1,000 customers, to 10,000 customers, to becoming a big brand? And this, of course, is cook-a-doodle-doo on my favorite subject. What are the things you can do to enjoy cooking? Not just yourself, but how do you involve your whole family, your spouse? How can cooking be a sexy activity?
How you can seduce one Michelin
Oh,
star.
how you can seduce one Michelin star chef.
Because
Guidelines in this.
I was totally seduced when I discovered it. For me, book is one support.
Right,
For me, book is not your property.
right,
Big book you receive, not
Right.
book you writing.
right,
Book you writing is same for me. But one book is one moment is a part of your life.
right,
You have this book one moment in a house.
right.
For last Christmas,
Uh-huh.
for Yogesh, I want making gift, and I tell what I can send. And Yogesh speak very good French.
Right,
He like speaking French.
right.
And
Yogesh is Medini's partner.
Yes.
Yeah.
and I tell, I'm sure he will be happy with one French book.
Okay.
I have a French book here, and I don't want to send my first book. I want to send him one book. He have one story is with my life.
Okay.
And I have one best friend in India, in French, sorry. This friend is making my glass.
Okay. Okay. Ah, okay.
And,
The
yes.
stained glass.
Yes,
Okay.
Bruno. And he writing this book from a story on Jura, my state.
Your state? Mm.
And I tell I will send this book to Yogesh because I am happy he will have a new vocabulary.
Right.
He have one book. This book was my property
Right.
before him,
Okay.
and he will discover it.
So it's your legacy
my
to him.
origin,
Right.
my life.
Right. So it's your legacy to him. How
Yes.
nice. Oh,
Yes.
how absolutely
This is
perfect.
very good.
Yeah.
After I have one.
Dominique, in France, you said you had, the other day when we were talking, you said something about you have a box where people
Yes.
put books.
I tell you this.
Uh,
For is a philosophy in France. Book is not your book,
okay.
and in our city now, you have one box close museum, one auditorium.
Okay.
We have a free book.
Okay.
You open the door of the box,
Okay.
and inside you have a lot of books.
Books. Okay.
And these books is a pupil. They're coming. I have these books in house. He's sleeping in my house. I
Okay.
prepare one person. You put inside.
Okay.
And what is the game is you come, you have one book in your pocket,
Okay.
you open, you put your book, and you take
one book. Okay.
and you stay all time a lot of book.
Okay.
You use this book, you finishing.
And you will come back and put it back.
If you want.
If you want.
If
Okay.
it's interesting for you, we can stay 1 year, 2 years with
Right.
you. But
Right. How beautiful.
It's a very beautiful story, but now is a successful in France.
Oh, that's wonderful. In South India, we have lots of libraries.
Yes.
Okay. Huge number of libraries, private libraries, government libraries, any number of them. And I remember as a child, somebody who was working with my dad, in his free time also would run a library. And I used to go there and, pick up books, especially fiction, a lot of fiction books, because, as a student, you don't have much money to buy a lot of things. So it was nice to borrow, read, and put it back. Okay. And you remember, I think around the time you and I met, I had nearly 15,000 books.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And over a period of time, we gifted away so many. In Jaipur, we gifted away. In Dehradun, we gifted away. We gifted away to restaurants, those RT places which used to have reading and board games. So many board games.
A lot of people appreciated coming in restaurant, sitting 1 hour, 2 hours with one book.
Yeah. So now in concoctions, we had a huge library. People loved, ordering food and then sitting with a book. And you remember there was this guy who used to come from one of the bankers who used to come by 7:30 in the morning, order breakfast, and till about 11:30, 12, he would keep sitting, reading. Each time he would finish one book. And then many times I would tell him, if you haven't finished the book, you can take the book with you. And he would say, no, Nandini, it gives me an excuse to come back to finish it.
Yes.
And he would wait till 11:30, 12, and then order lunch for his dad, pack everything and, take everything to his dad. These are some very beautiful memories we made in concoctions. So, at home now, this is our study, and, we have a beautiful collection of books. We have displayed the books very beautifully, and we have a very eclectic collection. We have books, we have fiction, we have management books, we have books in entrepreneurship, we have memoir, we have plays, we have poetry, we have John Steinbeck, Asimov, the entire collection. We have Simone de Beauvoir. And I must tell you, I'm also very fond of reading plays. And again, my most favorite playwright is French, Jean-Paul Sartre.
Yes.
Very, very strange. One play, I think he wrote only one play, Dominique, called In Camera. It's a very interesting story. 3 people are in hell. Okay, there is this middle-aged man, there is this middle-aged lady, and there is this young lady in her late 20s, kind of a thing. And they are in this very small, not even, I think 5 by 5 room or something like that. And they're having a conversation. And as conversation builds, they start an argument. The older lady is trying to seduce this middle-aged man. The middle-aged man is interested in the younger lady. The younger lady is not interested either in the older lady or in the older man. And there is a lot of tension bubbling up. And then they have arguments and they have, abuses hurling at each other. And finally, the guy says, oh my God, we are in hell, right? Which means there is no end. At least when you were living, you could say death is the end. But now we are dead already and we are in hell. There is no movement from here. Oh my God, in my church, my priest said hell means, brimstone and boiling oil and devil and everything. I don't see any of that in this hell.
Yeah.
Oh my God, hell is other people, is what he said.
And for me, one is interesting with a book because one book is one support.
Right.
Per my job, I have a good feeling when I touch carrot, I touch all vegetable, I want touch. And with book, I like touch. And you don't have one book in all my book. When you open, you have different secret inside.
Right.
See, this book, you have a photo. You have all article when I was chef in France.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, you have a lot of newspaper.
Okay.
You have a letter.
Oh, whose letter?
This letter is a college she writing when mom died.
And Colette is his cousin.
Yes, I have a lot in all my book.
Okay.
And because I think I am nostalgic with laptop and this. I remember when we was 20 years before,
right.
We take a photo, argentic photo.
Right.
Now we have a lot of photo on our phone.
Yeah.
But taking
that's
photo,
why we take printouts so much.
For me,
yeah.
Book is same. As for this, I love book because it's very interesting is a memory.
Right.
And
right.
all book have one story. This book is coming when we come in France last time.
Right.
It's a gift from Mark in Fallow Mustard.
Okay.
And he take care to send this book in English.
Right.
For you.
So that I could also read.
Yeah,
yes.
In all
when we visited
language,
his
yes.
factory.
And
yes.
He takes this because we go in India,
right.
And it's important is not in French.
Okay. Before we wrap up, do you want to quickly talk about your theatre experience going and watching a play at Rangashankara?
This is very good for me because I discovered one new thing theater. I think in this 1.5 year we are in Bangalore. I go most in theater. I go in my life.
Right.
Because when you work in evening, you don't have this time.
Right.
And theater is a very beautiful experience.
Right. And Rangashankara is beautiful.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Because
and you love
small.
the akiroti and the sabudana vada in Anju's cafe in Rangashankara.
This is a gourmandise. Because all time we associate food with our experience.
Absolutely. So normally they say, if you love reading, you're very rich in life.
Exactly.
And you don't need friends. I mean, books are your best friend. And I think we are lucky because in our world, word still rules. It's a very beautiful feeling that our whole life revolves around the word. Okay. In your case, now it is French and English. In my case, I think it is English, Kannada, Hindi, Sanskrit, and a little bit of French. Can I claim little bit of French? Apo French. So, episode 12 is the wrap on season 1 of Concoctions. I hope all of you have enjoyed it. We'd like to see more and more people visiting our channel, enjoying the videos, sharing it in their network, subscribing to our channel and all of that. We will come back. We're taking a 2-month break to figure out how much better and bigger and more interesting a format we can come back with. So wait for us. We will be back in the first week of April for season 2. Until then, take care of yourself. Love you. Bye.